A flock of shorebirds will take 4 to 5 days to travel from Australia to Taiwan without stopping to rest or refuel. This extraordinary flight covers almost 6,000 kilometers. They will have to cross over the vast ocean in one go before they land and replenish their energy. And this is only half of their journey. Migration is essential to the survival of many species of birds. In the face of continual upheaval and changes, life on Earth must adapt accordingly. Starting from Australia and New Zealand, extending northwards along the Ring of Fire, the islands along Asia's eastern fringe present a migratory route stretching 12,000 kilometers. Countless migratory species travel along this passage annually. Located on the edge of the Asia continent, Taiwan and its surrounding islands provide a salient hub for the flyway. Straddling the tropical and subtropical biomes, Taiwan receives an abundance of rainfall from frequent typhoons and monsoon rains. It is a gem of biodiversity along the Tropic of Cancer. With its mountainous terrains, stretches of forests and green land, rivers, lakes, plains, and wetlands, as well as the surrounding ocean, Taiwan is home to all major ecosystems found on Earth. Its unique geographic location and diverse ecosystems create a natural environment where almost 700 species of birds have been recorded. Taijiang National Park is located on the southwest coast of Taiwan, which is a significant point of the Australasia Flyway. Large areas of salt fields, fish farms, mangroves, coastal forests, lagoons, and estuaries make up a rich tapestry of wetlands. These wetlands provide favorable wintering and breeding grounds for a great number of migratory birds. More than 400 species of birds have been recorded in Taijiang, which is more than half of all species in Taiwan. Nearly 300 species are migratory. Here at the wetlands, migratory birds pique the interest of many. It could be the sighting of a rare species, or simply sheer numbers, or it could be fascinating behavior. A photo or a video clip can quickly become a focus in conversations. Migratory birds are species that travel long distances, along set routes, to and from wintering and breeding grounds during the spring and fall seasons. In different areas, depending on the seasons and circumstances, migratory birds are sorted into winter visitors, summer visitors, and passage migrants. Winter visitors are birds that arrive from the north during the fall to their wintering grounds. Of the numerous migratory species, 165 species of winter migratory birds are closely related to Taijiang. In Taiwan, the black-faced spoonbills are the most well-known migratory birds. This black-beaked large bird is loved for its rarity, its cute appearance, and its special feeding behavior. When fall arrives and the monsoon winds become stronger, these big white birds travel in batches from their breeding grounds in the north to spend their winter in the south. They can be spotted easily in the fish farms, the estuaries of Zhengwen River, the salt fields of Qigu, the estuaries of Yanshui River, and the Cicao wetlands. Black-faced spoonbills prefer to forage in shallow waters. They sweep their partially open bills in the water and toss their prey of small fish and shrimps into the air to swallow. If they sense a larger prey, they may give chase in small, quick steps. Because of its special rounded spoon-like bill and feeding technique, it is also known as the black-faced flying sweeper in local dialect. The best times to watch the spoonbills are during dawn and dusk. They depart from their resting places in small groups and head out to nearby fish farms or saline wetlands to feed on the abundant resources available in these areas. The day has just begun, and groups of spoonbills have already started their feeding in eagerness. The spoonbills visit different feeding sites every day. They seem to know which sites will serve them best intuitively. Fish farms are part of the cultural tapestry in Taijiang. Every year during winter, the fish farmers pump out the water to harvest their fish. After the harvest, the shallow waters of the fish ponds are filled with little fish, shrimps, and other bottom-dwelling species. This is practically heaven for the waterbirds. The birds feeding in the fish farms provide a good example of how aquaculture and conservation can go hand in hand. From the perspective of evolution, birds are no doubt successful adapters. They've evolved in countless ways to utilize myriads of habitats and have developed many ways of living. The pied avoset's starkly contrasting plumage of black and white is very striking. Although avosets belong to the same family as stilts, their bills are completely different. The avoset forages by sweeping its thin and upcurved bill from side to side in the water. Moving gracefully, it feeds on little shrimps, fish, and invertebrates. With its long legs and its ability to swim, the avoset can forage in deeper waters. It will sometimes upend like a duck to catch its prey, paddling its webbed feet to keep its balance. It is much easier to feed on fish when the environment features water areas of varying depths. The varied water bodies in Taijiang are a central attraction to many species of fish-loving shorebirds. The cormorants form a formidable net and dive right into the water to catch their prey. Their hunt is fruitful, and there can be no doubt that their strategy is working well. Gulls are a widely known species of seabirds. They can be found in estuaries, fish farms, and salt fields, resting or foraging for food in groups. The black-headed gull sports a red bill and red legs. The tip of its bill is a darker shade. During flight, the black tips of the primary wings are prominent. With a wingspan of 145 centimeters, the Caspian tern is the largest tern in the world. Its long, thick red bill is a good field mark. Most terns have white or gray body plumage. The plumage helps to hide the bird from its prey. The contrasting black cap of the bird reduces the distraction from the bright sun. Terns hover high over the water to look for their prey, then plunge rapidly into the water to capture them. Terns are very gregarious birds and are often found in large groups. There is safety in numbers, as they can watch for danger better, and the risk of predation is reduced. The wintering population of the whiskered tern is quite substantial. They move quickly and often roost in large numbers. After October, numerous species of ducks and geese arrive in Taijiang. They come in different sizes and appearances. Beaks and body structures determine how they forage and what they feed on. The pintail upends into the water to seek food, using its webbed feet to maintain balance. Only its pointy tail can be seen. The northern shoveler uses its thick bill to drain aquatic invertebrates and plankton from the water. The tufted duck dives directly into the water to forage. Its favorite food consists of bottom-dwelling mollusks and invertebrates. Waders constitute a significant part of the wetland avian community here. Water levels and the types of food resource available directly impact the bird's behavior in these surroundings. The curlew's long and curved bill is endowed with sensitive nerve receptors. A probe in the mud exposes the presence of a crab. After a few jabs, the prey is caught. The black-tailed godwit has a long and straight bill, which is perfect when it comes to hunting for mollusks and invertebrates. Waders peck, probe, and feed in rapid movements. It is impossible to note their feeding styles unless we slow down the action. Here we can enjoy watching the black-tailed godwit feeding on a little mollusk. The tall and elegant godwit can move into deeper waters. It is not limited by the water levels. Not all waders have this advantage. The petite red-necked stint can only seek nourishment along the shallows. Its thin, short bill is great for quick, decisive probes when feeding. The dunlin loves to move in groups. It has a slightly long bill which curls at the tip. The dunlin feeds at a rapid pace, moving, pecking, and picking up food items. Waders of the Charadriidae family typically have short, thick bills and have very quick, decisive feeding actions. They are adept at observing and waiting for the right moment before they close in quickly on their prey. The Pacific golden plover loves to forage along the high tide line of the shore. Its sharp eyes and strong legs endow the bird with a keen observation and power moves. The Siberian sand plover, also a short and stout species, observes, moves, and pecks in streamlined feeding movements. It easily picks up worms and small invertebrates on the shore. Taijiang is mainly a wetland national park, and there are many stretches of mangroves within the region. The southern bank at the river mouth of Jianwen River has a wide expanse of coastal protection forests. They provide cover and protection for many species of wildlife. Many migratory birds rest and forage for food in these areas. When the migratory birds stop over, it is not unusual to spot some rare species. Passage birds are migratory species who stop over briefly at a site during their journey to replenish their energy before embarking on the rest of their journey, southwards or northwards. Because of its geographical position, Taijiang is a popular stopover site for the migrants from the south heading out north. Almost without exception, the northbound birds are into their molting periods. Molting is a necessary part of migration. Most importantly, it is in preparation for the mating season. A beautiful and attractive look will most certainly catch the attention of the opposite sex. The plumage that shows up during the mating season is known as the breeding plumage. The red knot is one of the prettiest members of the Calidris sandpipers. Its breeding plumage features a bright cinnamon-colored face, throat, and breast, with contrasting brick red and black patches on the upper wings. During the fall migration, the basic plumage is uniformly pale gray, a far cry from its breeding plumage. The migration seasons bring in familiar visitors, but occasionally a few rare species show up. This is the spoon-billed sandpiper, listed by the IUCN as critically endangered, with a world population of less than 500. The endangered Nordmann's greenshank is here. Its global population is less than 2,000. Summer migratory birds travel from the south to breed here during spring, and then return south to their wintering grounds during fall. The oriental pratincoal lays its eggs amongst the grass of an arid field. The Himalayan cuckoo depends on other species of birds to look after its young. A retired fish farm is perfect for thriving mangroves. Surrounded by water, this is a secluded haven for the egrets to roost and breed. Congregating in the mangroves and breeding their young are the common egrets, some of which are migrants, while some are residents. While successful breeding depends very much on the quality of the habitat, the weather plays a deciding role as well. Every spring, the little tern flies all the way from Australia to Taiwan to breed. In the tile-paved salt fields of Taijiang, this pair of little terns work around the clock to incubate their clutch. The scorching sun and relentless heat make their task even harder. There is a brief moment of respite when a cloud passes over the sun. To make sure the eggs are properly incubated, the parent turns the eggs over once in a while. During incubation, there is nothing better to do than preening to pass the time. Right before the eggs are due to hatch, the plum rains bring in an onslaught of torrential rains, soaking the entire clutch in water. In the face of extreme climate conditions, the powerful intention to reproduce seems fragile and vulnerable. In normal circumstances, a little tern's incubation period is about 21 days. This pair of terns sat on the eggs for 25 days, and the eggs show no sign of hatching. As the time went by, the parents did not give up. Perhaps the little tern has just realized its failure. Perhaps its maternity instinct is awakened. The little tern runs over to its neighboring nest to offer warmth and protection to the newly hatched chicks. The Kentish plover can only look on in surprise and embarrassment. If we think of migratory birds as charming messengers of the planet, then resident bird species must be the loyal guardians of the Earth. Resident species refer to the birds which spend the whole year in their breeding grounds. They are the best indicators of a healthy environment. In mid-spring, as daylight becomes longer and the temperature rises, many resident species begin their breeding ritual, as regular as clockwork. A distinctive bird song is the best way to announce your presence, delineate your territory, and seek a mate. When the temperature reaches 30 degrees Celsius during the day, most resident birds are already incubating their eggs or feeding their chicks. The mangroves and the surrounding marshes provide excellent refuge and a wide variety of food resources, making the area a favorite spot among many species of birds. A flourishing breeding season can only mean one thing: that the ecological conditions of the environment are optimal. Wetlands provide a wealth of resources for the birds, and some have opted to stay in Taijiang permanently. In the old salt fields among the gravel or the tiled grounds, we can often discover the nest of the Kentish plover. The plover prefers sites with special landmarks or settings that are advantageous for camouflaging. When the temperature is too high, the parent bird will wet its breast feathers to cool the eggs. It fluffs out its feathers and opens its mouth to dissipate body heat. After 4 weeks of hard work, the baby chicks finally hatched. Once they have hatched, the chicks are extremely energetic. They begin to forage for food on day 1, but of course a parent's guidance is still necessary. Black-winged stilts make use of the fish farm banks, higher grounds or dry ponds to build their nests. Pebbles, dried grass, twigs and leaves are convenient nesting materials. The parents take turns to incubate their eggs, and incubation takes about 25 days. These precocial chicks can forage for food by the water once they have hatched. The black-winged kite is hovering over open land with the help of the wind. They feed on rodents in salt fields and plains. In early April, when the egrets are busy breeding, the black-winged kite embarks on its mating season. During courtship, the male offers food to his partner in a display of affection and love. Once the chicks have hatched, the female bird looks after them in the nest, while the male is tasked with hunting to provide for the whole family. Food is handed over in a nearby branch. About 25 days after hatching, the chicks are bigger, stronger, and their feathers are fuller. These fledglings will leave the nest for a bit and try out their wings on branches close by for a taste of flight. Very soon, these little ones will take to the skies and become a new generation of rodent hunters. Taijiang National Park is situated at the crossroads of rivers and the sea, the only wetland-based national park in Taiwan. Here are 2 sites of international importance and 2 sites of national importance. Sediment deposition and the tides present the coastal areas and the estuaries with extraordinary ecosystem productivity. Herein lie the kidneys of the earth. providing important habitats for a myriad of species of wildlife, on a par with tropical rainforests and coral reefs. According to studies, 40% of plants and animals listed as threatened or endangered depend on wetlands for their survival. The population of the black-faced spoonbills once dipped below 300 individuals. Listed as critically endangered, the species was a major global concern. Asian countries worked hard for many years to address this situation. Taijiang National Park played its part with its conservation efforts and its promotion of bird-friendly agriculture. The population has since grown steadily over the years. In January 2023, the global population of black-faced spoonbills reached a total of 6,603. The overall wintering population in Taiwan is 4,228, and more than 2,000 are found in the Taijiang area. Taijiang is currently the most significant site for the black-faced spoonbills. Birds are living proof that countless species rely on migration to survive. The black-faced spoonbill's journey is merely a minute part of the grand scheme of wildlife migration that operates in sync with seasonal changes. The spoonbills choose to fly thousands of kilometers to winter at the river mouth of Jianwen because it offers them a safe and bountiful environment. A bird's choice is a salient indicator of a healthy habitat. The successful conservation of the black-faced spoonbills is a delightful example. It is also a symbol of hope. That same hope underlines the core values of national parks, which strive to protect the biodiversity of our natural world and to ensure sustainability in the long run.